Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. If you're new to the channel, welcome guys, and if you're back for some more, welcome back. I'm so proud of you guys. I'm glad to see that you guys are here and concerned about your salvation and things pertaining to God and all that. Thank you for coming to my channel. I appreciate it. So I'm going to be getting into the miraculous things of God, right? So basically, I've been talking about a lot of doom and gloom stuff. I've been talking about a lot of demons and hell and all this other stuff, which is true. I need you guys to understand that these are also very important things to know and to understand. But there are miraculous things that God does over time, and he's done it time and time again. If you look in the Bible, he's done it with multiple people, and he still does it till today. Now, a lot of people do not believe in miracles. They do not believe in the wonders of God, and that they think that 2,000 years ago when Jesus came, that all those miracles, that's it. God just pretty much gave up and said, okay, the miracles are left for then, and every time else there is no miracles going to be performed. That is wrong, and I can tell you from personal experience that that is wrong. So what I'm going to get into is a few things. So I talked about something in a previous video of hearing the voice of God. Now, if you have not seen those videos, guys, please, I urge you, please go look at those videos, and then you can kind of figure what I'm saying. You know, you can kind of match it up. So basically, there was a time that I heard from God. Now, right after I heard from God, I basically had told my fiance at the time. We ended up getting married. She is now my ex-wife, but we ended up talking about what happened at the park, and she told me that she did not believe in God, and reason being, I'm not really going to give name of a church or the pastor, but basically her mother once upon a time went to this pastor in need, and he kind of was disrespectful and turned her away. So she felt like if God was real, then why would he appoint this man to look over the church? So she told her children that God didn't exist, and that's what she believed. So I couldn't believe that for some reason. I mean, I had some type of belief in God, and I can't believe that her and I have never came into the conversation of God, but we were at that point in time. So basically, we go ahead and download an app called the Verse of the Day, or it's a Holy Bible, and it has a Verse of the Day, and you can get it. It's free. It's in the App Store, and it's very simple to download, along with many others. But we chose this one particular one, which would give you a verse of the day. It would just give you one verse, one day at a time. So basically, after this miraculous thing happened to me, we go on this thing where we keep arguing back and forth about God. And I, at that point, did not read the Bible. I knew nothing about the Bible or the things in the Bible. So when we were arguing, I was telling her things that you could actually find in the Bible, but I had no idea how I was doing these things. So after every argument, every single day, the same thing would happen. So we'd argue. I'd be saying certain things that I had no idea how I was knowing these things, and we'd argue back and forth, and then a verse of the day will pop up shortly after, and it would be talking about exactly what we were arguing about. So it was kind of crazy because it happened the first few days, and we were just amazed at what was happening. We couldn't figure out what was going on. So about 2 weeks go by, and literally every single day the same thing was happening. We'd have an argument or a discussion that was pertaining to God and the things of God, and things like that. And after the argument, a verse of the day would pop up, and it would be talking about exactly what we were arguing about. I'm talking about exactly what we were arguing about. There's so many things in the Bible that you can come across. You can come across the Bible talking about somebody walking up the side of a mountain, or you can come across some gruesome things. Now, the verse of the day that was popping up had everything to do with what we were talking about and nothing to do about nonsense, you know. So after these 2 weeks, that last day, it was the same thing. We argued, and it was a little intense as far as the words going back and forth, and we were getting louder and louder. And again, a verse of the day popped up, and it was talking exactly about what we were talking about. And then she accused me of tampering with the app somehow, which I'm not good with technology at all. If you have watched my videos, you can see I have no editing in there. I have nothing. I literally do these videos from beginning to end with no cuts. So, you know, I don't know how to mess with these things. So she was accusing me of that. And I told her, like, I don't know how to mess with these things. And basically, we got into another argument. And this one was a little more intense than the one before. And once again, I'm telling her things that I have no idea how I knew. And I'm just spitting these things out. And lo and behold, another verse of the day pops up. Now, if you're familiar with this app and verse of the day, literally only one verse of the day pops up, only one a day. So for it to happen twice was just, for me, unheard of, for her unheard of, and so far anybody that I have talked to about it, they've never heard of that either. But literally another verse popped up, and again it was talking exactly about what we were discussing. So she immediately threw her hands up and said, I believe, let's go get baptized. Now, there was a little downfall for me after that because I was just frustrated, and you know, I just couldn't believe that I was fighting with her so much about it, and for some reason I let go of God. And but that's another story. So with this same woman, which once again we're not together anymore, she's my ex-wife, but with her, basically, she could not have any children. Doctors say or said that she would never be able to have a child. Even with their help, it would be extremely difficult. No matter what we do, it's probably not going to happen. So, and sure enough, she just was not getting pregnant. We tried and tried and nothing. So one day, a couple of my kids were over my apartment, and she was in the room, and they're in the room with her, and they're talking, and it's about bedtime, so I go to head in the room, and they're running out, and she's crying. So immediately, you know, my dad senses kicked in, and I'm like, hey guys, get over here. And but she says, no, no, it's okay. I'm just crying because, not for nothing, but I love your kids and they call me mommy, and it's okay. But I just want to have a child of my own. And I couldn't help but to get emotional about this. There were so many things going on in my life, and then to hear this come out of her mouth, it was just so heartbreaking. So shortly after, I put the kids to bed in the living room, and she goes to bed, and I'm awake because I have a hard time sleeping usually. And I go to the room, and I knelt down beside her, and I prayed, and the prayer went, God, please give her a child. Even if she takes this child away from me like the other women have done, even if I never get to see this child again, and be careful what you ask for. Be careful. But I said, even if she takes the kid away from me, even if I never get to see this kid, please, she deserves a child. And I cried, and, a couple of tears went on her, so I didn't want to disturb her sleeping. So I just got up, and I laid in the bed, and I went to sleep. Shortly after, I woke up, but I was paralyzed. Now, I discussed something about being paralyzed in the previous video. If you want, like I said, check those out. But basically, the other experiences that I had were demonic. This one was not demonic at all. As a matter of fact, it was very much the opposite. But it was still kind of the same thing. I could not move my whole body, but I was aware, I was awake, and my eyes were moving around. I can feel things. I can feel the bed under me, and I can hear. So basically, shortly after, I wake up and I'm paralyzed, and I'm looking that direction because I feel something holding my face. It legit was like fingers, and it was holding me here. It was warm, and I'm looking over, and there's something that's hovering over my, well, she was my fiance at the time, but it was hovering over my wife. And I was in a panic. I was scared, and I see this thing just hovering over her. It was like a goldish, greenish. It was just like an emerald, beautiful, glowing figure of what looked like a man, perhaps, but it just was all this solid, beautiful color. I could not see facial features or anything like that, or any kind of other color of the skin, just those colors. Now I see this thing and it's holding me, and it says to me, "You cannot see what is about to happen." Now, this voice was almost like I could hear it in my head, and this is how this thing was communicating with me. It said, "You cannot see what is about to happen." I'm in a sense freaking out because I'm thinking, what is going on? This is in my bedroom, guys. It freaked me out. But once again, the wonders of God, the miraculous things, is just amazing. So shortly after, I hear the voice again, and it said, "It is done." So once that happened, it shot from over her to the doorway, and this thing was super tall. It was extremely tall. And I'm going to give you that little height in a second, but basically, it lets me go and it shoots to the doorway, and it's at this point outside of my room, and the door was open because I have it open so I can hear the kids if they, make any noise or whatever the case. But so the door is open, and this thing is literally crouched down, holding the top of the door and looking, squatting, looking at me. So this thing had to have been 10 feet tall, 8 to 10 feet tall. I mean, this thing was huge. So it's looking at me. I immediately am free after it lets me go, and I see it shoot that way. And I get up and I look towards the doorway. I look at it, and then just as fast, it shot from where it was towards the direction of the living room. And I wasn't thinking of the kids. I wasn't thinking of anything else except for the fact of what was going on. So I wake up my fiance, and I'm shaking her, and I'm like, "Babe, get up." And I'm telling her what happened. I said, "Babe, there was something here," and it was, I was laying down, and it was holding my face, and I couldn't move. And she's like, babe, you were just dreaming. Go back to sleep." So, guys, I'm a Puerto Rican, and you know, when you're right, you can't really tell a Puerto Rican that he's wrong because he's gonna get a little upset. I'm not gonna lie, it's just in our nature, and I was a little upset. Okay, so I go and I kind of do my little attitude thing and shuffle around and put the blanket over me, and because she's telling me I'm dreaming, that this never happened. So, anyways, basically, I turn around. I'm not thinking of the kids or anything. I just go to sleep shortly after, thinking about what just happened. So I let it go. And about 2, 3 weeks down the line, basically, and not even, it must have been about 3 or 4 weeks at that point, and I'm in the shower. Uh, and just another day, and I'm in the shower, I'm lathering up my hair, and she knocks on the bathroom door, and it's only her in the house. So I say, "Okay, come in." And she comes in and she says, "Okay if I use the bathroom?" And I say, "Okay, of course," because I'm with her. Why would I be opposed to her being in the bathroom? So anyways, the shower curtain is closed. I can't really see what's going on, but she's shuffling around doing something that I have no clue what she's doing. She's doing something, and I'm in the middle of still lathering up my hair, and I hear that same voice again, and it says, "It is done." So I'm thinking automatically about that night, what happened, what I heard. I'm seeing, in my head, the figure that was over her. I'm just picturing all this, and I say in my head, "What is done?" And it says she is pregnant. So I'm sitting here like confused, not knowing exactly what to think. And she says, "Babe, babe." And I said, "I know you're pregnant." So she says, "How do you know?" And I said, "I don't know. I just know." I didn't want to tell her, "Hey, remember that one night that this supposedly happened?" Well, I heard that voice again and it said you were pregnant. So, anyways, I didn't want her to look at me like I was crazy. So, but that was another miraculous wonder of God, which was by far one of the most amazing experiences I had. Now, another one happens to deal with hell. Yes, hell. And I I've never asked God to take me to heaven or show me things in heaven or anything like that. I don't know. I just never was too curious about it. I believe everything about it, just like I believe all the things about hell, but for some reason, I just wanted to see hell. I don't know. I said, "God," over and over one night, "God, show me hell, take me to hell, show me the reality of it." And I just kept asking it over and over, and I'm laying on my back and I basically knock out, and I am instantly out of my body, and I felt like I was falling, and I land into what seems like a a coffin, a stone coffin or something. It was just like all stone all around me, and I could barely move. I could barely breathe, and I can feel the heat, and I could smell the stench of this place. It was just so horrible, and I can kind of see a little bit over this stone piece, and you can see the walls look like they were made out of stone as well, and it looked like blood or something. It was red. The walls were just, it looked kind of moist, if I'm putting it correctly. It kind of looked moist, guys. I don't know how else to put it, but basically you can see over to the left what looked like a door, a big heavy metal door of some sort with like three or four little bars with a tiny window that you can see out of. And in between that, I can see some type of creature that's extremely skinny and just like balled up in a corner to the left over here, and in front of me, or excuse me, beside me, in front of that was basically this huge creature. It had to been like 10, 12 feet, and it kind of looked reptilian in a way. Guys, I know all this sounds crazy, but I'm not making any of this up. This is all things that happen, so bear with me here. So this thing was huge, and there was another one that was kind of running around and rolling around and popping up and saying, "This is how you do it. Just get up," and just rolling and popping, and it was getting closer. So I say, "Take me back," and automatically I shot right back into my body. I automatically stood up, and I was afraid because of what just happened. And for some reason, I just was like, because I usually ask God for things in threes just to show me that He's showing me things. I say, "God, prove it to me, please. I just want to make sure it's you." This time, when I sat up, I didn't ask for it in threes, but I did ask for it again. I said, "God, take me back." And I laid down, and almost instantly, I was taken right back to the place I was. I was falling. I landed in this stone tomb, and I'm back in the same place. The same creatures are there, except they seemed more irritated, and you can tell in the voice of that creature that it was angry, and literally was rolling and popping up and coming up to me, and it getting closer and closer, and then it finally grabbed onto the side, and you could see the claws of this thing was just, it was long. And so it grabs onto the side, and it says, "Get up." And I automatically get sucked back to my body, into my body again. So the miraculous thing of this is that I ask God to take me here, to show me the reality of this place, and He takes me in. And me asking Him to take me out of there, He just instantly takes me out. These things are only things that God can do. It's just so amazing. Now I want to give you guys a little bonus. So from time to time, there's people that have been possessed by demons, and they have asked me to, cast them out and whatnot. And there's other people that have heard of that or heard the stories that I've told and allowed me to do the same to them. And one time in this house, I'm videotaping, and I'm praying, and I'm trying to cast out whatever's in the house. And the person, which I'm not going to name, and nor am I going to show the video or anything like that, but I basically have the person next to me, and they're praying as well. And as I'm telling these demons to go, you can clearly see these orbs that come out of the person, and it just starts like doing one of these things, just getting bigger and smaller, and it's going over that person and then going over me, and basically it shot out the window. Both of them shot at the same time out the window. It was an amazing thing to see. Why? Because God is the one who made this happen. Because me, I'm using the name of Jesus Christ, I'm praying in the name of God, and I'm asking Him to take these things out, and these things are leaving in the name of God. These miraculous things are happening because of God. So like I said, I was giving you guys a lot of things about doom and gloom, and about how to fix your ways in your life. I wanted to give you guys a few things about the miraculous things that's happened. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys have any questions or anything, please, you can email me at any time. That's Pastor Frank the Messenger at gmail.com. If you like the content that you see, please like, and if you would like, subscribe, share the video, guys. Get the word out. God is real. Miracles are real. Demons are real. Heaven and hell, all these things are real, and Jesus is coming back soon. Let's let everybody know. I love you guys, and I hope to see you guys again soon. Bye.